I need to tell you something before I start. I am not someone who cries easily. I was raised to be practical, to hold things together, to be the person in the room who stays calm when everything around her is falling apart. My mother called it strength. My therapist years later called it armor. Either way, I don't cry easily. But on a Thursday afternoon in October, driving home from school pickup, my 9-year-old daughter said 5 words from the back seat of my car, and I pulled over on the side of the road, put the car in park, and cried so hard I couldn't see the steering wheel. My name is Rachel. I was 37 years old, and I want to tell you about the year that almost broke me, and the 5 words that put me back together. 18 months before that Thursday, my husband of 11 years told me he wanted a divorce, not because of anything dramatic, not because of betrayal or deception or the kind of story that has a villain, simply because he had decided quietly and privately that he wanted a different life, a smaller life, one that didn't include the weight of what we had built together. He was kind about it, genuinely kind, which somehow made it harder. I had a 9-year-old daughter, a mortgage, a job I loved but that didn't pay enough for what our life had become, and a heart that had been carefully, considerately broken by someone who had done it as gently as possible. I held it together, because that is what I do. I held it together through the separation, through the house going on the market, through moving into an apartment that was smaller than our old living room, through explaining to my daughter, my brilliant, sensitive, watchful daughter, that some things change and that both of her parents loved her completely, and that was the one thing that would never, ever be different. She had nodded, asked if she could still have the same bedroom color. I said yes. I painted it myself on a Saturday while she was at her father's. I cried the whole time. She never knew. But what I didn't understand, what I couldn't see clearly because I was too busy holding everything together, was how much she was watching. Children watch everything. They absorb what we think we are hiding. They carry what we think we have protected them from. My daughter was watching me that entire year and storing something up. And on a Thursday afternoon in October, she let it out. If this is already hitting something in you, if you are someone who is holding it together right now, subscribe to this channel. Because every week I bring you the stories that see the people who are quietly carrying everything. You deserve to be seen. The year after the divorce was the hardest of my life. Not because of the big things, although the big things were hard, but because of the accumulation of small things that nobody warns you about. The first time you cook dinner for 2 instead of 3, and realize you have made 2. Much pasta again. The first school play where you sit alone on your side of the auditorium. The first parent-teacher conference where you go alone and the teacher says, when she means you. The small things. I worked full-time. I managed the apartment. I helped with homework and packed lunches and attended every school event and never, not once, let my daughter see me fall apart. I was so proud of that. In the way you are proud of things that are actually destroying you slowly. My daughter's name is Lily. She is 9 years old and has her father's logical mind and my stubborn heart, in a way of looking at you that makes you feel like she can see directly through whatever you are presenting, on the surface to the actual thing underneath. I had underestimated exactly how clearly she could see. About 8 months after the divorce, I started noticing small things. Lily setting the table without being asked. Lily bringing me a glass of water when I was on a work call. Lily, on mornings when I was clearly exhausted, making her own breakfast and leaving mine ready. A piece of toast, slightly burnt the way she knew I liked it, on the counter with a napkin. I noticed, but I told myself she was just growing up, just becoming more independent, just finding her way in our new, smaller life. I did not let myself look at it more directly than that, because if I had, I think I would have understood sooner what she was doing, and understanding it sooner would have broken me, open in a way I wasn't ready for yet. The Thursday in October was ordinary in every way. School pickup at 3:15. Lily climbing into the back seat with her backpack and the particular energy of a child who has been holding something in all day and is finally in a safe enough place to let it out. We were 3 minutes from home. I was thinking about what to make for dinner, and from the back seat, completely unprompted, my daughter said, "Mom, you're doing really good." 5 words. I kept driving for approximately 15 seconds, long enough to turn onto a quieter street, long enough to pull over safely, and then I put the car in park and I cried. Not the quiet, controlled kind, the other kind. The kind that has been waiting for a long time in a place you didn't know was that full. Lily did not panic. She did not ask what was wrong. She unclipped her seatbelt, leaned forward, and put her small arms as far around me as she could reach, and she held on. We sat on the side of that road for a long time. Lily held on. I cried. Eventually the crying slowed. The way it does when something that has been held too tightly is finally, mercifully released. When I could speak, I turned around and looked at my daughter. This 9-year-old person who had watched me hold everything together for a year and had decided, on a Thursday afternoon, that I needed to hear something true. "How did you know?" I asked her. She thought about it seriously. The way she thinks about things. "Because you never say it to yourself," she said. "So I thought someone should." I looked at my daughter for a long moment, and I thought, in the particular way that complete clarity arrives sometimes, in the most unexpected places, that she was the bravest person I had ever known. Braver than me. Braver than anyone who had ever held it together by sheer force of will. Because she had looked at my carefully constructed okayness and seen through every layer of it, and chosen, instead of pretending not to see, to say something true. "You're doing really good." 5 words, from a 9-year-old in the back seat of a car. That was the day I stopped performing okayness and started actually working toward it. I started therapy the following week, not because I was falling apart, but because I finally, for the first time in 18 months, felt safe enough to look at what I had been carrying. My therapist asked me, in our second session, what had made me decide to come. I told her about the Thursday, about the 5 words, about the small arms reaching around me as far as they could go. She handed me a tissue. "Your daughter sounds extraordinary," she said. "She is," I said. "She has been watching me all year, and she decided the most important thing she could do was tell me the truth. I am doing better now. Not perfectly, not without hard days, but genuinely, honestly better, in the way that only becomes possible when you stop pretending and start actually letting people in. Lily still sets the table without being asked, still brings me water when I am on long calls, still makes toast on hard mornings, and I let her. Not because I need her to take care of me, but because I understand now that this is how she loves, by paying attention, by showing up, by saying the true thing when the true thing is what is needed. She learned that somewhere. I like to think she learned it from watching me, even on the days when what I was doing wasn't holding it together so much as refusing to let go. Here is what a 9-year-old taught me from the back seat of a car. The people who love you most are not fooled by your strength. They see through it, all the way to the place where you are tired and scared and doing your absolute best. And the greatest gift they can give you is to say so out loud. My daughter came home from school and said 5 words. "Mom, you're doing really good." And I pulled over and cried and held on. And then finally, slowly, completely, I started to believe her. If this story reached you, if someone came to mind while you were listening, please share this with them right now. Tell them what Lily told her mother. Subscribe to this channel for stories that see you completely. And leave a comment. I want to know. Who in your life has said the 5 words you needed to hear? I am always listening.